I want to talk about the pillow guy next. I want to call Mike Lindell, Mike Pillow, Mr. Pillow Man. So if you don't know who Mike Lindell is a pillow salesman. That's what he does. He owns My Pillow, the website. If you go there, that's his website. He sells pillows to people. They're okay pillows. They're not bad pillows. But he's also very politically engaged. He's a big Trump guy, and he has constantly alleged that the 2020 election was stolen without any substantial evidence. But he did bring forward this big event called the Cyber Symposium a while ago. And he said that if anybody comes to the Cyber Symposium, and he said he was going to show all this evidence and could debunk his evidence that the 2020 election was stolen by China, that China had hacked into our machines at Dominion and had, manipulated the vote tallies to make Joe Biden the winner. He said he had evidence of that. If anybody could go and disprove him, that he would give them $5 million. Well, actually we can play the clip here quick.
But when they come in, there's going to be, I believe the lawyer said we got a team of, it's a board of five cyber experts or whatever that they would just show them that this is not valid from the 2020 election. It's going to be, but we put a lot into this. I put up the $5 million because you know what? I'm tired of they're going to try and discredit it before that, Steve. Well, you know what? Why not CNN, if it's you and you're going to try and do this or whoever, why don't you come to I've invited them all to the symposium, so come there. Why don't you prove it there so then you can win $5 million?
Well, some people did take him up on that challenge, and they went to the event to look at the evidence and disprove it. And one person effectively did. But when he was confronting him about this, like, hey, look, I debunked your thing. It's actually just a bunch of Word documents. He then said, I don't care. Screw you. You didn't disprove it. So that person then went to a judge. And now that judge is saying that Mike Lindell is going to have to pay through his firm $5 million to the person in question. $5 million. And Mike Lindell is already going through some financial trouble due to the amount of money he's dumping in to all of the cyber symposiums and all of these election denying events. And now he's going to have to pay the $5 million after the court is putting a legal gun to his head saying, look, buddy, you made the promise. Your thing was debunked. Please pay the money. We can actually play a clip of the person who actually debunked it, Bob Zeidman, who's a Trump supporter, by the way, was a Trump supporter, talking on MSNBC about how he debunked it and how Mike Lindell didn't want to give him the money.
Everyone who came was a Trump supporter, including me. Look, we can get into that. I have problems with Trump, and I don't plan to vote for him next time. But, they invited a lot of cyber experts who are Trump supporters, and everybody looked at this and said, this isn't what we expected. It's nothing about the election. Most of us didn't know what it was. But I started doing some simple transformations, and every time I did this transformation, I got something that I recognized. And eventually I found that most of the files were Word documents. One was a table of numbers that were basically meaningless. Another one was hundreds or thousands of pages where it looked like somebody had been randomly typing letters into a document. But then there was...
Dude, do you know how silly that is? Dog, yo, dude, you know what? I'm going to do some hacking. Okay? One second. Okay, let's do it. Let's do some hacking. I want to do some professional hacking. God damn, I should have just opened Google Docs. The joke is dead. Could have done a joke. It's dead now. You get the idea.
There was a transformation, several transformations done. So when it was handed to us, it looked like, some kind of sophisticated computer data. And so within a few hours, I slipped out of the room where everybody was looking over the data. I went back to the hotel to write up a report. And I called my wife and I talked to her quietly and I said, start thinking about what you want to do with $5 million. Arbitration. I've been through the system a lot. I think the American legal system is great. It's better than any other in the world. It allows David to take on Goliath, but it's not perfect. And I knew that there was a chance that somebody could say they don't like me, or there was a law that somebody finds that I didn't adhere to this law. And an arbitration is a little bit arbitrary. So they can even say things or make judgments that don't conform to the law. So I really didn't know up until yesterday whether I was going to win. I knew that I should have won. I knew that I met the challenge because that was easy. But whether I was going to be awarded the money by the arbitrators was a little up in the.
And this is what gets me though. Where did Mike Lindell get these Word documents? That's what they were, by the way. They were Word documents. People just typing randomly in the Word documents. They manipulate it a little bit to make it look complicated. This guy figures it out in like an afternoon. He solves this $5 million riddle put forward by Mike Lindell in an afternoon, and now it's just him fighting in the courts because Mike Lindell doesn't want to put up. He doesn't want to put up the $5 million that he promised he would give people. And Mike Lindell has actually said in other interviews that he never actually expected to pay anybody $5 million. He never intended to pay anybody $5 million after promising to, because he never thought anybody would figure it out. But again, they're just Word documents. Did he do it himself? Did he create these? Is this just all a big scam? What's the hook of the scam? Because Mike Lindell is losing money on all of this. Did somebody gaslight him? Did somebody give him this and say this is proof of the system being hacked? Did some anonymous like emailer or somebody give him a tip? Who got him these documents and then led him to believe that the cyber symposium was a good idea and that nobody would be able to hack Word documents? Because I was always under the impression that Mike Lindell is one of the few who's like huffing paint and actually believes his own nonsense. That's always that's how I always took it. And to be clear, this isn't the only problem that Mike Lindell has caused for conservative movement. Mike Lindell actually was one of the people who pushed all of the lies about Dominion voting systems that partially leaked on the Fox News that caused them to lose the $787 million. Let's read a few of the things that he said. And after everything that happened with Dominion, he's still going. He's still going with Dominion. This is what this article talks about, is how Mike Lindell, even after the lawsuit, after the $787.5 million that Fox is going to have to pay up, Mike Lindell is not taking the warning. He's not heeding the warning, and he's still going after Dominion. Listen to something he said recently. Dominion, why don't you show us what's inside your machines? Mike Lindell, MyPillow executive and prominent election denier, shouted during a live stream last month. He added that the company, which has filed a $1.3 billion lawsuit against him, was engaged in the biggest cover-up for the crime in the United States history, probably in world history, claims that election software companies like Dominion helped orchestrate widespread fraud in the 2020 election have been widely debunked in the years since former President Donald J. Trump and his allies first published the theories, man. But he's still going. He's not pulling it in. So not only is he going to have to pay $5 million to this other guy because he met the challenge and Mike Lindell didn't want to put up, but now he might also have to pay the main group that he hates, Dominion, who he thinks stole the election. He might have to pay them because he lied about their company, causing them endless amount of financial damage. We watched a short documentary. I don't think we ever did a YouTube segment on it. We watched a short documentary on the channel about how Dominion Voting Systems has lost tons of money and tons of business in counties across the country who have dropped their voting systems, not because they were presented with evidence that showed that Dominion had rigged the election, not because Dominion had done anything wrong on their part, but just because of the rumors and the nonsense that people like this Pillow Man pushed. And so now he's not only going to have to pay the $5 million to this guy who put up, but he might also have to pay millions upon millions of dollars more to Dominion because of the financial damage he's done to their company through his lies. Lastly, Mike Lindell seems to be taking all of this quite well. Let's see what he's saying.
if we don't get rid of these computers and machines in our elections, it's over. It's over. It's end times. Everybody just pray. Everybody get as many people to the Lord as you can, and we all go to heaven. This is it. This is it. This is it, everybody.
Seems to be taking it quite well. He said that he is going to be challenging the $5 million decision, that he's lawyering up. He blamed this on the judges all being Democrats, like far lefty. He's coping, he's seething, but he's also not learning his lesson, meaning it's probably only a matter of time until he has to pay another group of people another huge sum of money because of his pointless lyings.